From the campus of Woodbury High School in Woodbury, New Jersey, the GCEN presents high school football. Today, it's the Paulsboro Red Raiders visiting the Woodbury Thundering Herd. Hello again, everyone. Rob Christ along with my partner, Marc Narducci. A beautiful spring-like afternoon here in late summer, early fall. Temperatures will hit the mid-60s. Not a cloud in the sky. What a tremendous atmosphere for our opener. Paulsboro and Woodbury, two teams rich in tradition at a site that is probably the hallmark of all in South Jersey. A great game. These two teams opened up with one another last year. It was a barn burner. A missed extra point was the difference. Paulsboro will like to make amends this year.
Yeah, no question, Rob. Woodbury wins 14-13, and in reality, that was it, and that decided the West Jersey Football League Memorial Division. But people forget sometimes that Woodbury is a defending champ because Paulsboro came back late in the season, won the South Jersey Group 1 title. It's 18th. The most by any public school in South Jersey.
Well, these two teams really ruled the roost in the Colonial Conference and South Jersey Group 1 for years, late 80s and 90s, 11 consecutive years. And again, Paulsboro, as you mentioned, Marc, the champion. They are led by a runner, Deron Holloway. Their coaching staff thinks he's one of the best inside runners in the history of Paulsboro High School. That's saying a lot with multiple NFL players. Deron Holloway's something special.
Yeah, no question about it. You talk about inside. He can certainly get outside as well. He rushed for just under 1,300 yards, 21 touchdowns last season. He's going to get a lot of work, and he's running behind one of the better offensive lines in South Jersey.
We talk about Woodbury now on the other side of the football. We mentioned that they beat Paulsboro last year in the opener. They finished up the year in a disappointment against Salem. They kind of fell flat, losing 42-0 in the playoffs, and that's an indication that this team's going to be hungry this year.
No question about it. First off, that was an excellent Salem team, a team that then lost to Paulsboro 29-26. But they are hungry, and like Paulsboro, they have a very, very good offensive line. Dustin Moore leads the way. They are really, they're one of the bigger lines that you're going to see, Rob, and they're going to benefit, and you know how well Woodbury and Al Malin likes to run the ball.
Well, Paulsboro is very athletic defensively. They're going to need that big line to protect Andre Parker. He started last year as a freshman. We talked about Holloway being something special. Parker is someone to really keep an eye on.
Yeah, Woodbury's Parker is only a sophomore, 6'2", 170, and the key to stopping him is you cannot let him turn the corner because he can do a lot of damage.
Well, he is a dual threat. He can throw the ball. He can run the ball. We'll see it on display today. What a tremendous afternoon for football. We're glad to have you with us. Stick around. We'll have the kickoff in just a moment.
And welcome back to Woodbury High School as the Thundering Herd will be kicking off. They deferred. George Castaldi will be kicking off. And that Paulsboro falls on that ball that time on the kickoff. Jamal Miles Benjamin there, so it'll be the Red Raiders.
First drive of the season. You can't hear yourself. Move it a little bit.
So Paulsboro will take it to start things. First down and 10, and the ball will be spotted at the 25-yard line. A couple technical difficulties to start things. Marc, it's my pleasure to be with you on this great day. Paulsboro in the white trimmed in red. And again, we'll keep an eye on Deron Holloway. He is their go-to guy on offense. Out of the shotgun, handoff, cut back against the grain, still on his feet, and finally brought down after a gain of about 6 yards is that man we spoke of, Deron Holloway, the senior, just 5'7", but he packs a mighty punch.
Yeah, that time Woodbury actually made him do what they wanted. They wanted him to cut back, but he was still able to get a nice gain that time. You don't want him to go north to south.
Second down, quick handoff to Holloway. Holloway into the secondary across the 40-yard line. And it's Deron Holloway again showing why he is one of the top players in South Jersey.
That's why you don't want him going north to south, Rob. He can really accelerate.
And Paulsboro essentially in a hurry-up offense here. First down and 10 at their own 41-yard line. Again, out of the shotgun, and they're going to continue to pound it on the ground with Holloway.
You know, that's a nice job by 65, Devin Love. He played off a block that time, made the tackle.
This Paulsboro offensive line has everybody back from last year. This game is going to be won in the trenches. Again, a shotgun handoff that looked like there was a whistle. Everybody stopped, but Deron Holloway didn't, and he's all the way down to the 37-yard line. There may have been a whistle from the stands, and everybody just seemed to hesitate.
You know, and even Holloway hesitated too. He waited, but he patiently waited for his opening and then tore downfield.
Well, Paulsboro successfully matriculating down the field, already deep in Woodbury territory at the 37-yard line. First down and 10, and it's been a heavy dose of Holloway. Holloway finally cut down, but still again, not before he picks up 3 or 4 yards.
I'll tell you, that's a great job by Keyshawn Christian, number 22 of Woodbury, closing in on that tackle. Had he not done that, Holloway would have had a lot more room.
Well, this is an interesting decision by Glenn Howard and the Paulsboro coaching staff. They're going to ensure that the team that is conditioned best comes out on top. Now they're going to slow things down a little bit and get this offense set. Holloway is your running back in the backfield for McCarthy. McCarthy hands to Holloway. Holloway cuts it inside. And Holloway again with another first down.
You know what he does great, Rob? He takes his time. He waited for that hole to go. He didn't just blast up there. Christian again on the tackle. He's going to be a very active linebacker.
Well, and speaking with the Paulsboro coaching staff, I said, what does Holloway do exceptionally well? And they said his vision. And there it was evident. Handoff, Holloway, and this time Woodbury's figured it out.
Yeah, that was big Picard Masato Moten, the senior. He's a returning all-conference performer, number 60, was right in there. Showed his quickness, Rob, that time, especially for a guy that weighs 270.
Picard and Moore, your two leaders of this Woodbury football team. McCarthy, swing pass, has Holloway in the flat. Holloway cut down at about the 27-yard line. So it's going to bring up a long third down now. Solid play made by that Woodbury defense. Castaldi and Blanton over there to cut down Holloway. Again, they're going to go hurry up here. McCarthy, senior quarterback.
Yeah, McCarthy, of course, had that knee injury in the playoff game last year. He's rebounded well. Just a couple of weeks ago, he was cleared to play, and he's now running this offense.
Quick drop. McCarthy has a man, throws into the flat, and he has him knocked out of bounds as he hooks up with his receiver, Eric Diaz, one of the many talented skills players they have on this Paulsboro team. So it's a makeable fourth down now, about 2. Holloway again in the backfield. McCarthy hands to Holloway, cuts it outside, now back in. He'll have enough for the first down, still driving on his feet. And Paulsboro continues to move that football.
Got a tremendous block by number 9, Riley Honorado, on the edge. And again, he just waited for that to open, but Riley really stuck with his block that time and carried it out.
First down and goal now for the Red Raiders. Again, Holloway cuts and ducks under a tackle. He'll be shy of the goal line at about the 2.5-yard line. Well, this Paulsboro offensive line has been impressive during this opening drive. McCarthy hands to Holloway. Holloway dives forward, it maybe picks up a half a yard, and that's about it.
I'll tell you what, Isaiah Turner, number 10, came up very, very hard on that play and closed off very quickly. It looked like he was Holloway was going to be able to get outside. Great job by number 10.
Third down at the 2-yard line. Goal to go for McCarthy and the Raiders. Holloway inside. Holloway, touchdown! Deron Holloway starts things in 2017, a 2-yard TD scamper. Red Raiders on top 6-0. Now they will come on to attempt the point after. Wolf will do the honors. Ricky Wolf's kick is blocked. The extra point is blocked. And Mark, I remind you, last year that was the difference in the football game. Woodbury won by 1 point, and it was a mixed extra point. It's deja vu, perhaps, for Paulsboro.
Braden Moy, number 12, getting in there really, really quickly that time. That's an excellent job. You know, Rob, unofficially, I mean, they were moving so fast, it was hard to do this. I think that Holloway gained all the yards in that drive except for that one reception by Diaz on the out pattern.
That's correct.
So, yeoman's work from Holloway, and he's going to get it this year.
Well, you know, the one thing that Paulsboro really felt good about specifically was that offensive line. They have everybody coming back, and when you have a runner as talented as Holloway and a line like that, then you can see why Holloway will score on those 2-yard runs all year long, as you saw in the replay.
There's the extra point block. Wow, Moy just ran right up there. It almost looked like he was untouched.
You have a sense that there was a missed assignment there.
We'll get into the Paulsboro offensive line if we can get any time to do that. But Robert Glocker, the left tackle, one of the best in South Jersey, Rob. He's only a junior at 6'4", 280.
Ricky Wolf will kick things away for Paulsboro, and Woodbury will look to start their offensive 2017 season in good field position. They pick the ball up at the 20-yard line and finally cut down at about the 28-yard line is Gardner. And a short return. Savion Gardner, the junior, on the return of about 9 yards. First down and 10 for Woodbury. And again, we talked before about Andre Parker. Parker, just a sophomore, 6'2", 170 pounds, a dual threat, someone who has a very capable arm, but very elusive as well. Looks like someone may have gotten off the ball early, but it doesn't matter as this Paulsboro defensive line dropping Woodbury's number 2, George Castaldi. Castaldi back this year after missing last season. He started as a freshman, or had significant playing time as a freshman, missed last season, and now he's back. He's done some good things here for Al Malam and the Thundering Herd in the preseason.
I look for Parker to kind of roll out and try to make something on his own, too, to open things up.
Under 7 minutes remaining in this first quarter. And Parker keeps into the secondary, cuts it back across the 40-yard line. And Parker showing his dynamic skills. First down, making something out of theoretically nothing.
Well, just as we said that, Rob, he did that, and that's got to open some things up.
Well, you can see that explosive first step that Andre Parker boasts, and that's going to keep this Paulsboro defense honest throughout. First down and 10, Herd at their own 43-yard line, their first down. And again, you see the penetration of this Paulsboro defensive line as Castaldi cut down for a loss once again.
Honorado that time again cutting through. Paulsboro just so quick. I mean, Woodbury obviously has a size advantage up front. He's playing off the block, as you see there. Second
down, call it a long 11 for Parker and the herd.
This is where Parker will take over, I think.
Parker rolls, has space, he'll keep. And Parker cut down at about the 49-yard line, and Parker just lowered that shoulder and laid out the boom. Tackle made by Jacob Perez Eli. Eli, just a sophomore, 5'8", 150 pounds, and absorbed all that Parker had. So, as you can see, we are in the first quarter, and Paulsboro on top 6-0. Time just under 5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Handoff, and just not a lot there. So far, it's been Parker and nothing else for this offense of Woodbury.
Douglas Blue Eli, the junior, 6'3", 315, making the tackle there. Paulsboro people are very high on him. They said schools such as Temple and Baylor have inquired about him.
So Paulsboro holds just shy of midfield. Woodbury forced to punt it away. They will. A high kick, wobbly back at the 17. And right down the middle, Paulsboro's Holloway has done it all thus far. He'll take it to the 31-yard line. First down and 10, Red Raiders.
You know, Rob, that time that special teams tackle by number 18, David Collins, it's a good thing he did because it looked like Holloway was ready to break away again.
Sam.
4:05 left, first quarter. Paulsboro took the opening kickoff, and it was the Deron Holloway show. Every yard gained in that drive, save for one pass on the back of Deron Holloway. So again, McCarthy working out of the shotgun, a 3-receiver set, and it's Holloway. Holloway jukes quickly and falls forward for a gain of 2 or 3.
Rob, on that play, number 65 for Woodbury, Devin Love, didn't actually make the initial tackle, but he played off his block, stretched it out, and that's what you have to do against Holloway.
Second down and 7. McCarthy, empty backfield, swing pass, Holloway in the flat. Holloway on his feet, into the secondary, cuts it back. Holloway to the 30-yard line. He's got one man to beat. Can he do it? Holloway angling, touchdown. 66-yard swing pass, Deron Holloway.
Rob, again, he was patient, but if you see this play again, Antoine Rogers Wallace, number 7, put a block that just set him free. He may have been free anyway, but again, you just can't let Holloway operate in space. Remember last year, he averaged on rushing plays 7.1 yards per carry. And obviously showed his explosiveness in the passing game there.
Paulsboro will opt for 2 here. McCarthy, bad snap, and McCarthy still on his feet, and he'll be dropped in the backfield. So the only thing not going Paulsboro's way, extra points. They lead 12-0. That has to be a concern here for Coach Al Melan and the rest of the herd coaching staff.
Here it is. Watch 7 right there. Boom! That's a tremendous job. And he just went through the hole and cut back. Look, it doesn't even look like he's accelerating in his top gear. Now watch Devin Love, 65 on this, showing his speed. Look at him run down that time. That's an excellent job. That, you're talking about a 6'3", 242-pound junior.
On that swing pass to Holloway, and Magruder able to track him down. But again, Holloway is not just an athlete. He's a smart kid. He used the entire field, angled towards the end zone, and nothing Magruder could do about that. You can see it's a pointed decision on the Paulsboro staff. Get the ball in Holloway's hands as often as possible. and if possible, create that open space that you talked about.
Yeah, no question about it. Now, conversely, Woodbury has got to get Parker outside. They've been very successful when he scrambled the one time and he had the other run. I'm going to expect Parker to have a lot of heavy duty here.
Line drive, Wolf dropped at the 19-yard line, and Woodbury's going to be in some trouble here as Gardner started things by dropping it and then had nowhere to go. No gain on the return ball at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10.
Well, one thing if you're Woodbury, this Paulsboro team has great team speed, as does Woodbury, but Paulsboro, you cannot run. You've got to run north to south, and if you're going laterally like that, you're playing right into their hands.
Second drive for the Herd, and it was the Parker show on the first drive. Castaldi unsuccessful in the few runs he had. Now Parker with time throws, little swing pass, and a gain of 2 or 3 yards. Again, that'll keep this defensive line of Paulsboro honest. Castaldi on the reception. Castaldi just 5'7", 140 pounds.
Rob, that time, Glocker, we talked about him as an offensive lineman, at 280 pounds, got out there on the swing pass and was in on the tackle. I mean, it shows the kind of athletes you're seeing here at Paulsboro.
Second down. We'll call it 7. Handoff inside, driving forward, picking up maybe 2 or 3 yards. But again, every run is a tough one. Woodbury's having to earn it today, Mark.
Yeah, no question about it. But I'll tell you one thing, the right tackle, Billy Moore, another big kid at 6'3", 286, got a pretty good surge initially to give him a little bit of room there.
You kind of get a feeling this is a big first down for this Woodbury team. They need to keep that Paulsboro offense off the field, give their defense a bit of a rest, and try to generate some confidence.
Yeah, to me, there's no question Parker's going to keep this ball and try to make something happen.
Trips right, one man in the backfield for Parker. Parker keeps. And Parker is brought down, and it looks like he's going to have enough for the first down. Well, maybe you should be the defensive coordinator.
Well, let me tell you something. It doesn't take much to know that Parker, with all his skills and what he can do and how he can make things happen, I mean, you're going to give it to him on any big play.
Interesting design play. You had trips to the right, and that was the short side of the field, and yet they still ran the ball to the right side. Again, indicative of the confidence they have in Andre Parker. We'll see. He looks like he's favoring one leg. We'll see as he works out of the shotgun. Parker has time, throws it up into the secondary and in and out of the hands of the defensive back for Paulsboro. That's number 21, Alex DeVault. And I think Parker was just trying to get a little greedy there.
Well, there's no question about it, and that shows his youth a little bit because, first of all, as you mentioned, DeVault with excellent coverage. The best you could have got in something like that was a jump ball.
I think that's a case where you have Parker, who's so talented, read the coverage, see you have nothing there, and try to make something with your feet.
And DeVault at 5'9", 165. But again, that's probably a pass that Parker would like to have back. Again, I expect him to roll out here.
2nd and 10. Quick drop, Parker. Flushed out of the pocket, throws inside, underneath to the 40-yard line or thereabouts. And he has his man. And that, of course, is Marcus Magruder, who we talked about earlier, chasing down Deron Holloway. A lot of players on both teams, two-way players. Of course, we're talking Group 1 football.
That's a heck of a throw because number 5 for Paulsboro, Jacob Perez-Eli, had really good coverage on that. That shows a little bit of Parker's gun that we'll see here today.
It does look like Parker is favoring that 1 foot.
There's no question.
May have hurt an ankle.
And you have to see how that affects, when he's running the option. He is trying to shake it off, it looks like.
3rd down and 1. And timeout called by Woodbury. So, given the fact that it looks like Parker's not 100%. Do you still think it's going to be Parker featured on this play?
No, not on this play. With 1 yard to go, I don't think so. And I'll tell you what, Rob. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but he looks like he's in a little bit of pain there. So we'll just have to see if he can shake this off or not.
So we start out the 2017 season here on Saturday morning on the GCEN. Some great football games throughout the season already, but let's take a look forward at their schedule. You know, Woodbury, it doesn't get easier. Pennsville, always very tough. Haddon Heights, also a solid program. And of course, we know what happened at Salem. Clayton Lindenwold gets maybe a little bit easier than Penns Grove, Haddon Township, and Gateway. So Woodbury's really, their season is going to be dictated by their first 5-6 games or so.
Yeah, I believe so. And there you see Paulsboro's schedule too. You think Glassboro is going to have a bounce back year. Gateway, remember last year, almost made the playoffs.
Won yesterday.
And how about Haddonfield? A big win, a convincing win over Collingswood. Watch out for the Bulldogs again. After a 6-4 year, they may be ready to improve a level here.
Third down and short. Parker. And it's disrupted in the backfield. And Parker forced to make the tackle. Parker handing off the football, but it was Paulsboro's defense that was there first.
Santino Marina, number 86, I thought took the handoff there. I mean, he's such a playmaker on defense. Watch him right there. I mean, he gets in there, recovers that. That is just a tremendous athletic play by Marina.
Well, I'm taking a look at Parker now on the sideline. He is definitely favoring one leg. No trainer over to see him. It looks like it may be a thigh. And he is bent over on the sideline in obvious pain.
Santino Marina last year, 90 tackles and 11 sacks. He's only a junior.
First down and 10. McCarthy has a man wide open and caught. Touchdown! Santino Marina.
Oh, by the way, he can play a little offense too.
That's shades of Alex Silvestro.
How about that, when they've been going with Holloway on first down all the time, to go right after a turnover and try to strike it big. And that's a heck of a catch by Marina. That wasn't an easy catch he had to make
Not
over
at
his
all.
shoulder.
You saw his athleticism. So Wolf, one thing Paulsboro hasn't done well is extra points. Wolf's kick is up, and Wolf's kick is good. Well, as they say, the third time is the charm. It is now 19-0.
Just look at that. That's the end of it that we see. I mean, pretty good coverage there that time, and Marina had to adjust and almost turn around on that ball and still make it. And there we get a look at Parker, and he's in some pain.
Well, given the score 19-0, it'll be interesting to see whether Parker's able to return. He's still favoring that leg, now gravitating towards the huddle. Let's take a look at the injury.
Let's see where it came there.
Looks relatively innocent.
Yeah, but you're right. You're right. You just never know.
You could see right away, though, when he was getting up. It's a great job by our crew to pick that up. Stan Ritter, our director, immediately recognizing that Parker favoring the one leg. 19-0 with 42 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Not the way Woodbury would have scripted things. Short pooch kick taken at the 29-yard line, and a brief gain, maybe 5 yards, 1st and 10 Woodbury. It's going to be tough here against this vaunted Paulsboro attack. Woodbury has not been successful on either side of the ball thus far. They have moved it to some degree, but again, their primary weapon, Parker, has been cut down. We'll see whether or not he has any mobility. He's running out onto the field now.
I'd call that limping onto the field right now.
You can just see from his body language, he's not there entirely.
But here's the thing, I would not expect him to be scrambling, and if you take him out as an option, it's going to be very tough.
Parker hands it off, and again, it's been that Red Raider defense just swarming all over Castaldi, and Castaldi a little slow to get up right now.
Yeah, Robert Glocker, whose number we've called a lot, and also Anthony Marina, a guy who only had 135 tackles a year ago, Rob, knows how to make a few plays on defense. Yeah, the Marina cousins are just create havoc on defense.
Well, it looks like Woodbury is content to let this clock expire and head to the second quarter, and that's exactly what they'll do. Paulsboro on top of Woodbury, 19-0 here on the GCEN, your 2017 opener. Welcome back to Woodbury High School. Woodbury on their back feet right now, trailing 19-0. And Parker, as we mentioned, a little shaken up in that first half. Parker, and he's sacked. Again, Marina. Well, I tell you what, Marina is trying to ensure that it's about him and not Deron Holloway. I mean, you have two guys who are dominating the football game right now.
Yeah, no question about it. Just fought off a block right there. They're going to have to double team him.
Again, you see Parker still favoring the one leg. Third down, 19 yards to go. And we'll see Parker working out of the shotgun. He'll be forced to throw this ball, and given what we've seen, he's not going to have a lot of time to do so. Castaldi in the backfield. Parker flushed out, will throw the screen pass, and that floats on him well over the head of Castaldi. And again, Woodbury forced to punt it away.
Well, you know what's interesting about that? With the way Paulsboro has been rushing, I thought they were going to keep Castaldi in there as an extra blocker that time, but the heat came on. They tried to go the other way with the screen just overthrown.
Got to man up. This is football. Football.
Castaldi is your punter, and he'll be punting into the wind, and you can see just not the carry as a result. He kicks it out of bounds, and Paulsboro will take over in Woodbury territory.
Gabe Honorado, number 15, with a big rush that time. I thought he almost got a piece of that.
Officials with a generous spot on that punt. Ball spotted at midfield. First down and 10, Red Raiders. And it's been McCarthy and primarily Holloway. 2 passes, 2 for 2 is McCarthy. He found Diaz and Marina. Here's Holloway. Holloway, again, that quick burst. Looked like he had something there, but fine play made by the Woodbury defense. Keyshawn Christian initially on the hit.
Dustin Moore, too, number 77, as we get a look again at Parker. But 77, Moore basically holding on for his life that time. If he doesn't get him and wrap him up, again, it could be another long gain.
You know, if you're Woodbury here, you got to think not only stop the football, but maybe try to create a turnover, get back into this football game. McCarthy, again, will hand to Holloway. Holloway cut down once again. We mentioned before, Christian, he's done it again.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Keyshawn Christian at 5'10 and 200, that was about as sure a tackle as you can get because Holloway had broken through the first line of defense. That's a tremendous job by Christian.
3rd down and 7. Paulsboro in a 4-receiver set, Holloway in the backfield. And this play took a little bit too long to develop, it seems, and Paulsboro forced to call timeout. So, Mark, let's talk a little bit about football in general. Last night you had an opportunity to witness a tremendous football game. Timber Creek, who is most people's preseason favorite, really a scare against Delsey.
Oh, no question about it. 39-36 beating Delsey. And Delsey hits the left upright on a field goal attempt that would have tied the score with 9 seconds to go. But you know what was interesting about that game, Rob? Timber Creek, and we know about the aerial attack, and we know about Devin Leary, the best quarterback in the state, attempted 1 pass in the second half.
Wow.
Now that to me is good coaching because the Chargers were running clock. They were gaining a lot on the ground, and they said, hey, we know we're a passing team, but they are a much better running team this year. You know, they got the transfer Kyle Dobbins from St. Augustine. They have this kid Jerome Gibson, who's an outstanding back in his own right. So very, very good team. I think Rob Hinson, who got his 100th win, by the way, I think he'd like to shore up that Timber Creek defense a little bit, but you know, the Chargers have now won 18 in a row.
I know in speaking with the Timber Creek coaching staff, one of the things is they don't feel like they have the same talent in their skill positions, and Leary's done a good job in kind of building that up. Back to action here, McCarthy shakes off a tackle, and he'll be cut down from behind. Well, this play will likely come back as McCarthy very close to the first down, holding against Paulsboro. And again, it looks as though Woodbury will take the penalty.
That's an excellent job by the Woodbury secondary. Nobody open that time. And give McCarthy credit too, Rob, for not trying to force a pass anywhere. There was really nothing there. That's great coverage.
So remember, Mark, in high school football, it's a spot foul, so that is a costly penalty as it's all the way back to the 35-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 25. You got to think that maybe just a little swing pass to Holloway and let him improvise.
Either that or a pitch to him, but either way, I think he's going to be in this play. I don't expect Paulsboro to try to go deep. Although I'll tell you what, this offensive line is certainly given McCarthy plenty of time.
3-man front for Woodbury and McCarthy, and they were going to go deep, ironically.
Yes, they were.
But we have a procedure penalty, and now Woodbury can adjust accordingly as they tip their hand. But now I think we're going to see Holloway. We'll get it right eventually.
I'll tell you what, Savon Gardner, number 9 for Woodbury, I really like the way he goes at it in coverage. Not giving very much room. He's on Eric Diaz. That's an excellent matchup.
McCarthy will throw it up. Single man coverage. And I tell you what, Savon Gardner knew that he was beat. He had a little tug on Eric Diaz. I don't know if we'll be able to see that in the replay, but he got away with one there.
Well, not only that, he knew Isaiah Turner, the safety, was giving him help back in coverage number 10, and Turner was there to converge if needed. So
I don't know if we'll have that replay, but just a little tug showing his experience here. So 8:59 left in the first half, and Paulsboro forced to punt it away for their first time.
And here's where you've got to send everybody if you're Woodbury and just try to get a block here.
Snap is good. Some penetration. Low kick, and taken by Castaldi, returned to about midfield.
I'll tell you what, Rob, number 22, Christian, whose number we've called frequently, is a player that came pretty close to that punt. Put some heat on it. And Parker is going to come back out.
Well, again, you kind of get a sense of relief from Woodbury, finally able to stop this vaunted Paulsboro attack. And they'd like to generate some momentum here, make this a football game. They're certainly not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. 19-0, Paulsboro with the lead. Pitch, Castaldi with space. Castaldi stays on his feet, still driving, falls forward, and he'll pick up about 8.
I'll tell you why. Eric Diaz gave him a hit, and Castaldi almost bounced off it again. Big hole there. There's a collision, isn't it? And he held on for dear life there.
Well, you have to credit Castaldi. Put his head down, a little dangerous, but still utilizing his hands. A lot of guys at this level, you don't see that. They're just trying to lay out a big hit, but Diaz wrapped him up, and that was the difference in keeping Castaldi from a first down. So, second down and short, Parker will hand off, and Castaldi met at the 40-yard line. He gained absolutely nothing. Again, whose name will we be calling here? No surprise, Santino Marina.
They just have not been able to block him off the edge. And we said this is one of the bigger offensive lines in South Jersey that Woodbury has. But the problem is Marina at 190 pounds is just so quick.
Third down and 2. Parker with time. Looking. Now he'll keep. Parker, first down. Parker angles. And again, Andre Parker usually would just kind of bully his way for a few more yards. You can see he's still not 100%.
Well, he doesn't have that explosiveness, and he's still limping. And he only ran that time as a last resort, and to show his athletic ability to be able to get that first down and everything like that, and going half speed, if that.
What a tremendous job by that Woodbury offensive line. A lot of time there by Parker. They're going to need to do that given the fact that he's not 100%. Castaldi in the backfield once again. A 3-receiver set. Split right is Gardner and Isaiah Turner. Hand off Castaldi. And Castaldi, again, that penetration to Paulsboro, that play almost did not get off either.
Anthony Marina that time on the tackle. I'm really impressed with how Paulsboro plays off the tackle and makes the play. This is great fundamentals here that's taught here. He has a good break there, and then Marina gets him down at the end.
Well, Jamel Miles Benjamin almost got that football. Good block to seal him off. Second down and 7 for the Herd. Parker with the high snap, flushed out of the pocket. Parker on his feet, throws, has a man wide open. It's at the 15. And a fine play as, again, we see Marcus Magruder.
That's a good job by Magruder, Rob, because originally he was covered. Everybody was covered. He broke off his route, found a little bit of a space. And, you know, we talk about Parker's running ability. Look at this arm that he has here as well. That's on the run. Look how accurate that is. And then Magruder found his way open.
Great shot from our crew. First down and 10. Woodbury, their deepest penetration of the afternoon. Again, trips right for Parker. And the handoff right up the gut as Castaldi starting to chip away at that defensive front of Paulsboro.
You know, Paulsboro's Wyatt Hinkle that time, number 54, almost made a big play, but he actually overran the play that time, and it enabled Woodbury to get a couple yards.
Call it 2nd and 7. Ball spotted just inside the 10-yard line. Woodbury can get a first down and not breach the goal line. 2-receiver set, Magruder left. Castaldi gets the fake, and now Parker's in a world of hurt. Parker, and he runs out of bounds. After losing quite a chunk, he would have been better suited to throw that out of the end zone, but you got to give him credit from just getting away.
You also got to give Santino Marina credit. He was right there making that play. They just have not been able to block him.
Well, the question is Santino Marina, and unfortunately Woodbury doesn't have the answer. It's hard to say who's been more dominant thus far, Holloway or Marina.
Yeah, they have that tight end on Marina's side to try to kind of chip him a little bit, but still.
So, timeout called by Woodbury. We mentioned, go back to last night's action, Mark. Of course, we had a great game that you witnessed, and Cherokee and Shawnee with a tremendous game. Now, Shawnee had the lead. Cherokee ties it up late. They win in overtime as a result of a missed extra point. If you remember last year, Shawnee beat Clearview in the playoffs as a result of a mixed extra point. A little deja vu, essentially.
You know what's interesting? Last year, Cherokee was the consensus #1 team in South Jersey. Shawnee beats them opening day. And then this year, Shawnee comes back as the favorite in the West Jersey Football League American Division. Cherokee with a very young team, but obviously the Chiefs are to be heard from. And P.J. Megan among the best coaches in South Jersey, as is Shawnee's Tim Gashu. But wow, when those two meet, that's interesting. And I'm not saying that settles the West Jersey Football League American Division at all, but that's a major, major step for the Chiefs.
It's been, I think it was 2013 the last time Cherokee had beaten Shawnee, a big rivalry within the Lenape district there. So third down, high snap, and this is trouble. Parker picks it up and now runs backwards. Parker, it's knocked out of his hand. It's Marina on the football. Marina all the way down to the 37-yard line. Wow, it can't get much worse right now for Woodbury.
Wow, Rob, not only did Marina knock it out of his hands, but he recovered the ball. And I'm telling you what, I would question whether I'd use Parker right now. He just, the Parker of old would have gotten away from that, in my opinion. Not this time. Look at Marina. Look at him that time as and he stays on it. He pushes him down, as you see there, and then picks the ball up. He's looking to go for 6.
You know, it's hard to fault Parker for trying to create there, but he would have been better suited to fall on the football. Hindsight's always 20/20, and now it's going to be the Deron Holloway show. First down and 10, handoff Holloway. No, fumble, excuse me, it's not Holloway. The ball is loose, and it looks like Woodbury will come away with it. It looked like it was Tyre Dowd who was on the carry.
Well, Devin Love made the initial play there, number 65 for Woodbury, and he has shown great explosion off the ball. There it is down there.
Devin Love able to knock that out of his hand. Love, 6'3", 240, junior. And the first time Dowd touches the football, that was the first handoff to anybody besides Holloway. It did not work out well. So I guess that mitigates some of the damage of the previous series of Woodbury. But we'll see whether or not they're capable of moving the football here. First down and 10, 4:40 remaining for the Herd in this first half to get on the scoreboard. And the pitch, it's Castaldi. He has open space, cut down at about the 49-yard line. A nice pickup for the Herd.
Yeah, that's just good old-fashioned football with the pitch that time. Rob, I just feel that, I don't want to harp on this, but I just feel that those plays early in the game where Parker could get outside, he can't do it. You're taking away one of the big weapons on the team. He really, really hindered in this running game. He shows he can still pass. The problem is sometimes the mobility and getting away from some of these hard rushing linemen for Paulsboro.
Second down, we'll call it 4. And again, penetration here, but Castaldi able to shake it off and come up with a gain of 1 or 2. Tremendous rush by Anthony Marina And he's not having any of it, saying, listen, I'm not, there's more than one marina out here.
Yeah, watch 34 right there. Right there slows him up in time. And you know what? He's probably angry that he didn't make the tackle, even though he had the first hit.
He slapped his head afterwards. And again, just indicative of the talent that Paulsboro has here. The marina bookends have really demonstrated their ability here in this first half. They're going to have themselves one heck of a football season.
We talk about Paulsboro's speed on offense. It's really evident on the other side of the ball as well.
3rd down and short. Castaldi. And he runs into trouble, and he's just swung backwards. And forward penetration to about midfield, but Tino Savanea was not having any of it.
Yeah, number 70, as you called it on the tackle. It's just amazing, Rob, how quick the Paulsboro defensive line is, and the linebackers as well. We know the kind of speed they have in the secondary.
So about 2.5 minutes left, and it's 4th down and short. They're going to go for it here, Mark.
But again, Rob, he's going to have to throw the ball here. If healthy, he would have the threat of scrambling as well.
Parker with time, throws underneath, has his man, it's caught. And 1st down, Magruder again looks to be his number 1 target. 44-yard line, pickup of about 6 yards, and that's a big play for the Herd to build some confidence.
That's a tremendous throw. That shows the strength of the arm on this out, because Perez Eli had pretty good coverage there, and look at him. That is a gun that he has. That's what I'm saying. The Paulsboro D-backs have not been giving these receivers a lot of ground. Magruder's done a good job also, if he's covered, breaking his route and finding his way open.
Clock stops, 2:15 left. Swing pass. And Castaldi will lose yards.
Wow, Rob, that's just textbook defense. Jamal Miles Benjamin, number 6 that time. He not only made him force him outside, but he made the tackle as well. We've seen as good a one-on-one tackling as we've seen. Now watch 6. He'll come up on the play, doesn't let him cut back. Oh, that's a tremendous job.
That's the case of Magruder. He didn't really seal that block early, and Magruder's had himself a good football game, but I think that's one play he'd like to have back. 2nd down and 14. Parker again with a 3-receiver set. Parker flushed out of the pocket, puts his head down, has time, and he'll keep. Parker still on his feet, and again, still amazing, Mark, to see what Parker can do essentially on 1.5 legs.
At half speed that time, he got by, made the 1st down. It's a lot of guts that he's showing here. Boy, another big rush that time. It's interesting, too, because they dropped Santino Marina in coverage. They drop him in coverage on some plays. See him 86 back there?
Yep.
It just shows the versatility and the different things that the Red Raiders can do defensively.
So 1:13 left for the Herd. They will need to drive about 28 yards to score a touchdown. Parker limping, throwing, has his man, and maybe about 3 yards as he finds Sevion Gardner. They're going to need bigger chunks.
Look who made the tackle again, Santino Marina. Again, they're dropping him back in coverage. They've been pretty successful when they let him get at the quarterback, but showing a lot of versatility here. And when he goes in coverage, Parker has a little more time to throw. That's no coincidence.
A lot of time used up in between plays. Parker throws towards the end zone. It's a jump ball, knocked down. Well, the intended receiver was Gardner, but again, a fine play made by this Paulsboro secondary.
Eric Diaz, number 2, at 6'1". We know about him as a basketball player. times his jump well that time and does a good job in not interfering.
Down to 30 seconds. Parker has been quite accurate despite only having maybe 80%.
Woodbury hasn't passed up the middle. It's been to the outside most of the time.
And there's another one angled towards the corner. And is there a penalty? No. The referee looked like he was thinking about it.
Alex DeVault, 21, was on the coverage that time, made his jump. We'll see it here. I think if you're DeVault, if you had that over again, you'd like to turn your head a little quicker that time. He never really did that. And it was almost like guessing.
So 24 seconds left. We'll talk a little bit more South Jersey football, Mark. One of the featured games last night, Woodrow Wilson and Highland, good game. And Woodrow Wilson with the transfer Cargman going over there, able to come up with a big victory over a very tough Highland team.
Yeah, Cargman is the kid from Pittman, threw for 3 touchdown passes last night. And it's a shame that Pittman is not having a football program. Going with a JV this year, and you hope the Panthers, with a long history, can get it back. But that's a very, very good Woodrow Wilson team, especially with the King brothers there. Trayvon, who's already committed to Rutgers, and had a big game last night, couple sacks, and that may have been opening day as it was a year ago. That could be the decider in the West Jersey Football League Royal Division. Just
like this game could be here in their respective division. You know, in speaking with one of the coaches at Eastern, I mean, football in general, the numbers are struggling throughout the state.
Absolutely.
A lot of the teams that Eastern plays, of course, Eastern, one of the larger schools, they don't have enough kids. A lot of teams are facing to field a freshman football team.
Yeah.
It just not bode well. In fact, in speaking with Al Malan in terms of the WJFL, he says a lot of these teams don't have JV teams, and it's really hurt us. So, state of football right now. 4th down, and Parker out of the shotgun, pump fakes. Parker, flushed out of the pocket, will throw into the end zone. Again, jump ball, and it will fall incomplete. That was certainly worth a shot. And Paulsboro will take over on downs with 16 seconds remaining.
Well, that's an excellent job, again, by Diaz that time, Eric Diaz. He actually backpedaled on it, Rob, which isn't always the easiest thing. Watch number 2. He backpedaled, but he got in position, didn't interfere. This Paulsboro secondary has been very impressive.
Well, I'm sure Paulsboro has a weakness. We just haven't seen it thus far. Offensively have been outstanding. I guess they have some work to do on extra points. They will take a knee, and we will call it a half. Well, it's been a great first half to start this 2017 season for the Paulsboro Red Raiders. They head to the locker room on top of Woodbury, 19-0, your Atlantic City Electric game of the week. Welcome back to Woodbury High School. It is Paulsboro on top, 19-0. Red Raiders have... Welcome back to Woodbury High School. The Red Raiders on top 19-0 as we kick the football away, and the return across the 40-yard line to the 44. And Mark, that's exactly what Woodbury needed to start things.
Yeah, nice job by Gardner, who's been very active on both sides of the ball in the first half.
Well, we'll see whether Parker is in the game. I do see him, so Parker will continue despite his injury, and they will need Andre Parker. But you can see things have not gotten worse. His limp is even more pronounced right now. 1st and 10, Parker Two-step drop, throws underneath, has his man, pickup of about 5. And Woodbury with a positive to start here.
One thing, Rob, he's been effective passing when he's had the time. I think as a runner, it's almost like a last resort thing now because he's
Was
banged
complete to
up.
number 10, Isaiah Turner.
Looks like his thigh that's the problem. There's
That's my
a short
guess.
pass right there.
Yep. Upper right thigh is what our director Stan Ritter is telling us. And you can see he's still trying to loosen that thing up. 2nd and 5. 3 receivers set. The pitch to Staldy. Staldy cut down. Diaz on the tackle. No,
Yeah.
Eli on the tackle, excuse me.
Yeah, I think Woodbury has to do more of that, where they have the big offensive line here, pitch it out, and just get some power on there. Pretty good opening.
Yeah, absolutely. And to me, that is indicative of why Paulsboro is so tough. It looked like that was going to be a big gainer, and out of nowhere appears Eli.
Now, see, if Parker were fully healthy, I'd roll him out to the left on here, but I don't think there's any chance of that happening.
Parker hands it off, and we have a penalty flag. This looks like it's going to go against Woodbury, and Woodbury did not get the first down. So it'll be interesting decision here for Glenn Howard and the Red Raiders.
They also couldn't block Wyatt Hinkle.
Procedure called against Woodbury, and they'll decline the penalty. So that'll bring up a 4th down. Do you go for it here, Marc?
Yeah, there's no question you go for it.
I'm sorry I asked.
I mean, you're down by 19. It's 4th and 1. You're in Paulsboro territory. You have to go for it.
See Anthony Marino looking for the signals from Glenn Howard and the coaching staff.
I'll tell you, if Parker had anything in him and in that leg, if you faked the handoff and then went off of that, he could get some yards. I would not give it to the back here because Paulsboro's playing for that. We'll see what happens.
Parker hands it off, and pulling his way forward is Castaldi. He'll have enough for the first down.
And that looks to be good enough for the first down.
We talk about Christian, number 22, playing linebacker. He's been the tight end too. He kind of had the lead block that time. Gave him the chance to gain that first down.
Talk about the Red Raider coaching staff. Wayne Farrow, Kevin Harvey, John Musso, Tom Richardson, Karen Whitsett, Fran Simpson. A lot of those guys have been around a long time. Same with the Woodbury staff. Great staff on both sides of the football. Castaldi cut down again in the backfield. And guess who? Santino Marina.
I think you've seen when he has not been double teamed, he just hasn't been able to be stopped. And 86 was right in there on the play again.
Loss of the yard.
I've been impressed with how they move him around. And we saw earlier he was dropping back in some pass coverage, although I think he's more effective when he's just going after the quarterback.
2nd down and 11. Parker, play action pass, has his man in the seam, bounces off one tackle into the secondary. Fine play made by Keyshawn Christian. And again, you see just how special Parker is as he threaded the needle.
Beautiful pass by Parker. Nice completion and run by Christian. Ladies and gentlemen, I have your attention.
Boy, again, he didn't have that much room to throw that in. He's been hitting he's been showing some great accuracy, hasn't he, today?
And again, you can see Parker is still far from 100% and yet so effective. 1st down and 10, Woodbury driving the football. Castaldi bounces outside, has it, and he'll dive forward for a couple more yards. Just unable to stay on his feet, but he's been busy.
Paulsboro's Riley Honorado did a good job coming up, forcing it. You'll see number 9 there, forcing it, but then he bounced outside. Excellent job.
2nd down and 5 for the Herd. Castaldi again, the lone running back. Parker hands to Castaldi, and he's caught from behind in the backfield.
Yeah, that was Glocker that time. Nobody laid a block on him that time, and he showed his great quickness at 280 pounds, number 76 for Paulsboro. Watch 76, how quickly he makes this develop. Wow. Now, Woodbury, Rob's been going with a 2 tight end set to try to obviously get more blocking in this. Paulsboro's still pretty good right at the tack.
Riley Honorado assisted with that tackle. He's been all over the football field as well. 3rd down and 7. Parker, quick drop throws, has his man, but underthrows him. And that'll bring up a 4th down for the Herd.
I'll tell you, Perez Eli that time on the coverage, I am impressed with how these D-backs for Paulsboro. Woodbury receivers have not been getting much room there. They've been right on them. Let's see if they roll Parker out. Buy him some time.
Parker throws it up and had someone in his face. Looked like it changed the trajectory of the throw. And once again, the ball will be turned over on downs.
Well, they did roll him out a little bit, try to get him a little bit of time there, but the Paulsboro rush was just too much. I think that was number 44 for Paulsboro, Bateman, 5'10", 175. Again, these guys aren't overly big, Rob, but the speed on defense has just been so difficult to contend with.
Paulsboro takes over 1st and 10, their first possession of the 2nd half. McCarthy hands to Holloway. Holloway biding his time, looking for a seam. He finds one and now exploits it. Big pickup once again for Holloway.
That exactly shows why he's such a great runner. There was nothing there. They had stretched it out and everything. He just took his time. He doesn't panic. He didn't cut up in the middle because there was nothing there. You see? Look at how he's just taking his time, surveying everything, and then gaining the 8 yards.
Again, the handoff to Holloway, and he's going to be shy of the 1st down. Anyways, you kind of get a sense of Le'Veon Bell there, where he's just kind of mimicking and waiting and looking, and then boom, he's got that quick first explosive step.
Yep, he's got the confidence in himself, not the hurry. And, you know, they always talk about slowing the game down. Well, that's slowing the game down.
That's a great point. 3rd down and short. Woodbury will need to hold. They trail by 19. Holloway into the secondary. Holloway on his feet and unable to stay in bounds. Turner able to force him out. It was just interesting to watch that run as it evolved. You could see Holloway just saw that little hole and almost had a smile on his face.
Well, watch Santino Marina, number 86. There he is on the outside of your screen. That's what made that hole work that time. So Marina's not only rushing the quarterback and catching touchdown passes, he's making big blocks.
And right now, Woodbury has nobody on Marina. They fix it. Handoff. Holloway breaks one tackle. Holloway still pushing forward and inside the 45-yard line. Maximum effort by Holloway.
You know, he showed his strength, too, that time. Keyshawn Christian, 22, had a shot at him, and he gained a couple of extra yards. Holloway listed at 160, runs a lot stronger than than he certainly looks.
Holloway once again, and he's to the 36-yard line. He'll have enough for the first down. And we have a Woodbury player down right now. It looks like it's Terrell Holloway.
And you know what? I don't know if you saw it. It was a nice bit of sportsmanship by McCaffrey. He tried to pick him up, but Holloway just has to stay on the ground at this point. But that was a nice gesture by McCarthy, I'm sorry.
So it looks like he's cramped up, so that's a good sign. Not that he's cramped up, but it won't be a serious injury.
You know, I know McCarthy's only thrown a couple of passes here, but he's done a really nice job as a field general here for Paulsboro.
Yeah, I mean, you need someone who's going to be accurate. When you have Holloway as a defensive back, you're going to probably cheat a little bit, and if you can manage the game, then you're going to have a dual threat. And that's, I tell you just watching Paulsboro, I mean, they're well on their way to establishing themselves to 2017 champions. I know we're maybe getting ahead of ourselves, but you know they're going to be extraordinarily well coached. But we've seen some extraordinary talent on display today.
Well, you know, we're talking two Group 1 schools, and the whole key with any group size, but especially with Group 1, is depth and staying healthy. I mean, that's the key. That's what's impressive about Holloway. He's not just one of these scat backs that'll go to the outside. He'll go up the middle like we just saw on that, Rob.
As I mentioned, the Paulsboro coaching staff said one of the best inside runners they've had in their school history. So it's saying a lot, given the talent they've had here. Holloway again goes inside, and they'll pound it for a couple more. You know, the one thing I asked the staff of Paulsboro, what's an area of weakness for this team? And they said, you know, a little inexperienced, we're a little young, but we're going to get better as the year progresses. Well, they're starting out all right, Mark.
Yeah, it's a little scary if they're going to get better. But, you know, let's face it, that's been the history of this program forever.
Holloway. And he'll explode forward for a first down. You know, you can see the turf kind of popped up underneath him on it, just getting that foot down and driving. And once he spun his wheel, he was able to regain that explosiveness that he has. And here you see it again, blowing through tacklers. Good stop made by Castaldi. Holloway again up the gut, still on his feet, very close to another first down.
I'll tell you what, you saw the frustration of Woodbury that time. Isaiah Turner, number 10, had him there, and he still leaned forward and got an extra couple yards.
Second and very short.
Second down. Holloway, and this time he'll have a short game, but even that was impressive, Mark, as he was stopped in behind the line of scrimmage and illustrating his strength. Pulled forward for a first.
Yeah, big 75, Billy Moore, who got a hit on him, and Moore was just trying to hold on until he got some teammates to help him out there for Woodbury. Good job by Woodbury staying on sides there.
3:25 remaining in this third quarter. McCarthy with Holloway in the backfield. And it's Holloway. Holloway strings it outside, has time, has space, has room, and just shy of the end zone. Also has the first down.
I'm just amazed how well he takes his time. I think he was thinking of cutting back in. He saw nothing in there, and he just keeps going to the outside.
First and goal, full house backfield. McCarthy will take it himself. He pulls forward. Touchdown. Paulsboro on top now, 25-0. Well, Paulsboro's first drive of the third quarter has put an exclamation mark on this game. And again, they will attempt to go for two here. McCarthy rolls to his right, throws, and he'll miss his intended receiver. So if there's anything they need to work on, it's the point after attempts, but hard to complain about the effort thus far.
Well, I think they're going to get plenty of practice here with them. This is a well-designed play and very good play action by McCarthy, just overthrown. I'll tell you what, this Paulsboro offensive line, Glocker, Bear, Mooney, Hinkle, Blue Eli, they've just been dominating here.
Well, Holloway with a pair of touchdowns. And McCarthy's been quite the story, too. He's thrown for 2 touchdown passes, and he's run for 1. So, you know, we talk about Marina and Holloway all day long. You know, McCarthy's doing more than his share as well.
Yeah, there you get a look at the Woodbury sideline. They're working on Terrell Holloway, the 6'2", 243-pound junior. Well, the McCarthy, just the fact that he got back from that's a tough knee injury he had. And he got back, and as we mentioned at the top of the telecast, where he got cleared just a couple of weeks ago, and he's playing like a guy that this job means a lot to him, and showing great leadership and poise.
It'll be interesting to see, Mark, whether or not Andre Parker comes out for this next series. He's been banged up, and although UCLA had quite a comeback, it's going to be tough for Woodbury to fight their way back against this Paulsboro team. Wolf to the 30-yard line. And Woodbury with a return to about the 38 or so, 33, excuse me.
Well, I think Paulsboro's defense on a high school level is a little better than Texas A&M's.
I would agree.
A little porous.
I would agree.
Woodbury will begin this possession 1st and 10 from their own 33-yard line.
And it looks like Parker will continue. As you see, 2:58 left on the clock for this third quarter. Rob Christ along with Marc Narducci, happy to provide you the opener. These 2 vaunted franchises, just tremendous legacies, each of them. And what a great venue. Woodbury High School, love coming here to watch football. Can't think of a better way to kick off our 2017 season. Inside handoff, and Castaldi is banged up. Paulsboro continues to lay the wood. I tell you, Mark, you got to give George Castaldi a lot of credit. I mean, he's had the lion's share of carries today, 5'7", 140 pounds, and he's giving you everything.
Rob, that time it was number 70. Saviania, I know I pronounced his name wrong, but he's only a freshman, so we better learn how to pronounce it. At 5'10", 255. He's made some big plays here today.
Parker with time, pumps, throws, has a man, and falls incomplete. Again, looking for his favorite receiver, Marcus Magruder.
You know, that was actually a good play. The problem is he had to throw it beyond 2 layers of defenders. He needed a little more zip in there in that time. He tried to take a little something off that pass.
From their own 33-yard line.
Turner runs the play into Parker. With 2:06 left, third quarter. And again,
Takes a high snap.
will force Woodbury to punt it away.
Yeah, that's another thing. Woodbury, out of the shotgun, has had a number of high snaps. That's a thing we all take for granted. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's certainly something you think that the Thunder and Herd will be working on in the ensuing weeks.
I don't know if you saw the story. USC had a center, a blind center. Very inspirational story.
Terrific job. Snap for an extra point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Punt is away. It's a good one. It will bounce at the 37-yard line and continue to roll down at the 32.
That was
Castaldi.
that was a smart idea. They tried to kick it away from Holloway, but for good reason.
Castaldi's done a great job today. There you see on punting duty. And, you know, Woodbury will have to regroup. We mentioned the lion's share of their tougher teams will fall in the beginning. Pennsville next week. No slouch.
Yeah, Pennsville opened up with a win over Woodstown. That's a big win. New coach there, and
check 39, check 39.
That's a program that has been a consistent winner.
Wide now, wide now, wide now.
Holloway in the backfield and nothing doing there. So, Picard Masada Moten, one of the leaders of this team.
That was the all-conference form that he showed a year ago.
For the Red Raiders from their own 30.
Woodbury's defensive line has made some good plays, but you have to think they're getting a little gassed here. They've been out a lot.
4 receivers set.
Jose, your way, Jose.
McCarthy.
Your way, Jose. Come out, Jose.
They'll throw the swing pass, and not a whole lot there as Bayshul Tootin on the reception.
You know, Tootin is a freshman, and he's another very highly regarded guy. I mean, this is really the first time we've seen him make a play today here. But I think Tootin, during the year, is going to be more of a factor in this Paulsboro offense as the quarter ends.
Well, that'll do it for the first 3 quarters of play from Woodbury High School. The Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week has Paulsboro on top by 25. Welcome back. 4th quarter, Paulsboro on 3rd down. McCarthy, and we're going to have a face mask penalty here.
Yep.
Penalty flag on the play. Looks to be a face mask.
Moten extending his arm to McCarthy, saying, listen, I'm sorry, it was inadvertent. And it's just kind of been that way for Woodbury today. It looks like they're going to come up with a sack, and instead it's a face mask penalty. And it looked like there's going to be another fine defensive stop by Woodbury. Turns into a 1st down.
You know what I like what Glenn Howard's doing for Paulsboro? He's got Tootin, the freshman, in there. I mean, as you say, Rob, you never know if a game's over, but this one looks in the bag. And he's not going to wear out Holloway and have Holloway just keep running and running every play. Now, we might still see him carry the ball, but I like the fact that this is a time when you get this young freshman in here. And
now, I guess they're saying that was an inadvertent face mask. So it will remain 3rd down. McCarthy back to pass, throws it up, has his man, caught! What a fine catch made by Paulsboro's Eric Diaz. 1st down, Red Raiders.
Rob, again, these Woodbury D-backs, I think, have done a good job. Gardner was right there. You'll see number 9. It just Diaz made an outstanding play. And how about that throw as McCarthy took a tremendous shot that time.
I mean, what's not to like about that play? A perfect throw. Then he gets hammered in the pocket. Diaz catches the ball up in the air and keeps both feet in bounds. Swing pass, and Eli falls down, and that will result in a loss. Second down.
We'll bring up second down. Second and 14.
Go! 500. Make sure he knows.
To the Red Raiders. From the Woodbury
41-yard line.
Check one! Check one! Check one! Check one!
Handoff against the grain, and it looks like this is going to come back all the way into the end zone. Touchdown. That is Tootin, but I believe we had a holding penalty.
Tell you what though, Rob, that gives you a little indication of Tootin's big playability. I know the coaching staff very, very high on him.
Well, you know, it's the old adage, Mark. They don't rebuild, they reload. And you have Holloway, who has more than demonstrated how talented he is, and you got Tootin just waiting to get an opportunity. He's a big one, too. Tootin, just a freshman. And it's the 5'9", 165. He's only going to get bigger.
Second and long.
Second down and 24. McCarthy back to throw. Has a man inside. Throw into the secondary. Still on his feet. And again, just Marina has been phenomenal today, but another penalty flag here.
You know, I wonder if this is defensive holding this time.
Pass interference may have a pick.
There's
Legal
the end
pick.
of. There's a look at the end of that play there. Or maybe Marino pushed off too.
Hey!
Another nice play negated on the penalty.
That's okay.
So this is going to result in a loss of down as well. Third down. Ball's at the 45-yard line.
I would give it to Tootin right here and forget about trying to make a big play, big pass.
McCarthy. And another penalty flag. Throws it up for Diaz. This will fall incomplete. Well, the wheels have come off here for Paulsboro, but they have a significant cushion.
In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, take out your 50-50 raffle tickets.
Procedure at Paulsboro.
That's a false start.
And I'm sure Woodbury will decline that penalty.
50-50 raffle tickets. We have the winning number right here. Your winner today takes home $198. So somebody's wallet's going to be a little fatter today. Your winning number.
Fourth down. They'll be fortunate to punt it for a first down. Here, take a look at the replay.
50-50 ticket number 35219.
This
Diaz.
well overthrown. Diaz, though, uses those basketball skills in football. Great leaping ability. Gets pretty good separation.
Collect your winnings. Thank you very much.
We haven't seen the punting unit on very often today for Paulsboro, so a rarity here.
Paulsboro.
Woodbury's come close on a punt or two. You know they're going to send everybody on this one and just try to change the momentum.
Line drive, bounces inside the 15. Will be down about the 13-yard line. 1st and 10, 9:32 left. And only the outcome has not been determined in terms of the score. Paulsboro comfortably in front.
Nice job by Dowd getting that punt off. There was big pressure that time from Woodbury. Got it off and put his defense in another good position here.
So, Mark, I know I'll probably embarrass you a little bit, but my partner here, Marc Narducci, puts together a 2017 high school football preview. It's actually free, and I recommend that you pick it up. Next week, Willingboro is at West Deptford here on the GCEN, your Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week.
By the way, West Deptford coming off a 12-0 season and showing no signs of slowing down. And Clyde Folsom has another powerhouse team.
Right up the gut, not much doing. So, again, I know this is a labor of love for you, Mark, but you do just a tremendous job on this football preview, and I recommend everybody stop by. Where's it located? Wawa?
A lot of the super Wawas, it's there.
Okay.
And, I have to give a plug for my guy Chuck Langerman, who does the stats. He's been doing them every year, all 26 years, and no one does it better than he does it.
So, you know, one of the interesting things that I noticed, Mark, is we talked about trying to get numbers out for high school football, and here you have 2 Group 1 teams, which makes it even more challenging. Parker throws, has his man, but it's in and out of his hands. So the smallest school, Wildwood with 173, who's struggling with a football program, but the second smallest, Paulsboro. That's pretty impressive when you take a look at the numbers over on that side. Paulsboro's got at least, 40 kids probably over there, and they just seem to dominate. 236 kids, Group 1.
Now that's in grades 10 through 12.
Correct.
But one thing about Paulsboro, they did not get a big turnout from the freshman class this year. So, you have to keep getting the young players incorporated into the program.
Inside screen and absolutely nothing doing there. So Woodbury again forced to punt it away.
Rob, we talked about it. It doesn't get any easier for Woodbury. Well, I don't know if it gets any harder than playing Paulsboro, but it won't be easy having to take on Pennsville. At Pennsville, always a tough place to play. And new coach Mike Healy, we talked about, they win their opener against a very good Woodstown team. So that'll be a real challenge for Woodbury. And then the next week they have to visit Haddon Heights, who may have, one of the top quarterbacks certainly in this division, in Matt DiOrio, the senior. He's also an outstanding linebacker.
High punt bounces and takes a Paulsboro roll that will land inside the 30-yard line. For Paulsboro, it's not necessarily getting easier either. Next week, a very good Glassboro team. Again, Woodbury starting off with a little bit of a tougher slate than the Red Raiders.
Well, the thing about Glassboro, we know about the proud tradition of Glassboro. What a great program. The Bulldogs coming off a 2-8 season, you know they want to make amends for that.
I can guarantee you that team will turn around this year.
They were really banged up last year.
Check. 1-0-2, 48.
1st and 10, McCarthy still your quarterback. And back into the game. This Red Raider offense has done a lot of damage. Go ahead.
Dustin Moore, I just have to say, we said he's one of the better two-way linemen around. 77 just put a pop on that time. A tremendous defensive play.
I would be remiss. We're talking Glassboro football, and kudos to a player that we featured many times here on the GCEN, Corey Clement, for making the roster of the Philadelphia Eagles.
How about that?
I mean, obviously, anytime a local kid makes the NFL, that's just a great story, but it's just even more special making the team that's right at, half hour away?
How about Clement? I believe was on 3 sectional title winners. He was on when Glassboro was really on a roll there. Remember, he had the big game in the final that year against Pennsville. Just a tremendous player. Both sides of the ball.
Inside handoff on his feet. Still angling towards the end zone. Touchdown, a tremendous run by Dowd.
He's in for the touchdown for the Red Raiders.
So Dowd adds to Woodbury's misery.
What about the depth of this Paulsboro backfield? I mean, you know, that's the type of play that you see from top running backs, and he would be on many teams if Paulsboro didn't have one of the best in South Jersey. And we talked about Tootin with Dowd. I mean, they call it embarrassment of riches at the running back situation.
So Wolf's kick is up, almost blocked, but it is good. And Paulsboro increases their lead to 32-0. Getting back to this run from Dowd. A little mix-up early, but it just didn't matter.
Yeah, I think Woodbury thought he was going left. He went immediately right. The defense wasn't able to follow him. One thing I have to say, Rob, on that last PAT, Brandon Moy, number 12 for Woodbury, almost blocked that. And what I'm saying is, you know, you're down. It was at the time 31-0. You know, you could go through the motions. He was giving it all he could. That's a pretty good lesson. I think the coaches will look at that tape and show it to the players next week that, you know, no matter what time the game is, you keep on the effort. That's a real good job by Moy.
So we're talking a little bit of Corey Clement. I'm going back to the Bible here, your South Jersey high school football preview. So to give you an idea of just how dominating Clement was during his South Jersey career rushing yards, holds the title, 6,245. Rushing in a season, he has not only the number 2 mark in 25-10 in 2011, but also the number 4 mark where he gained 2,323 yards, and also holds the career mark for rushing yards in a game, 478 yards. So, again, you can see why he's in the NFL.
Yeah, he had a tremendous career at Wisconsin. Remember, he wasn't the starter for a while because Wisconsin's sort of like Paulsboro with running backs, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And so he had to kind of wait his turn, but he still saw a lot of action, and then had an outstanding year last year.
There's another South Jersey guy from Wisconsin that did all right for himself.
Yeah, a guy named Ron Dane. Didn't he win a Heisman?
I think he did.
From Overbrook?
I tell you, one of the most impressive things that I saw was way back when I was telling you before the game. I used to be a track coach at Gateway, and I was the girls' track coach, but we'd see the gentlemen compete. Ron Dane throwing a shot put at Overbrook.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if he wasn't a football player, he could have been a heck of a track star as well, and he was a track star during his time.
By the way, staying on the Wisconsin theme, how about Jonathan Taylor from Salem, who Paulsboro played against last year, had a touchdown in his first game for Wisconsin this year.
Inside handoff. Again, just a gain of a couple of yards there. You mentioned Jonathan Taylor, who, of course, last year set the record with 2,815 rushing yards in a season.
The thing about Taylor is, big kid, right? He's, 6'2", and he was a 100-meter state meet champions champ. So, I mean, when you have that kind of speed and power, it's very tough to contend with. And, Paulsboro did a good job. I mean, limiting that Salem running game in last year's championship victory over the Rams.
That was a big loss for Rutgers. Initially, Taylor was headed to Rutgers, and that's a program that's still trying to find its way. Parker hesitates, throws down the middle, and that falls incomplete. Rutgers started last week strong against a good Washington team, jumped out to a 7-0 lead. Today they're playing Eastern Michigan, and that will play a large role in dictating whether or not they can play in a bowl game. But again, you see Parker still out there creating.
Well, I wanted to talk about that last throw he made. He was off balance, he was getting rushed, and he actually, I thought, threw it off his wrong foot, and the thing still went 45 yards in the air. I mean, that really shows.
Into the wind.
Yeah, that really shows the type of arm Parker has. I can see, while they're excited here, Woodbury about him. Obviously played last year and it's a little stronger, a little faster. I know the injury, I hope it doesn't hamper him during the season because he's quite a player.
Parker throws, has his man, and that will be enough for a first down. Again, you can see he throws a nice football, does Parker.
Yeah, that's the sign. Is a nice catch by Flynn. There you see Flynn there bringing in the play after making the catch. But that is the sign. That's the throw, right, Rob? That you judge a quarterback's arm strength. That out pattern that he could just zip it there
effortlessly.
Yeah. And he's 170 pounds. He's going to get bigger. He's going to fill out.
I'd like to see Andre Parker on the mound.
Yeah, you being a baseball coach, I'm sure you do. You would.
Parker dumps it off to Castaldi. Castaldi, and he becomes a Red Raider sandwich.
Some reserves now in here for Paulsboro. A number of starters still here, but this is a game where you're getting a lot of your team experience. This is a kind of game for Paulsboro that you're getting guys experience, you're resting a few guys as well. It's going to pay dividends down the line.
Clock continues to move. We're down to 4.5 minutes just about remaining in this football game. Second down, call it 9. Trips left to Parker. Hand it off, fumble. Magruder loses the football, but it looks like he's able to retain it. So you have to think that Paulsboro may be a prohibitive favorite to repeat in Group 1. Would you agree with that, Mark?
I would say the favorite, whether it's prohibitive. If you look at today's game, yes, you would certainly say that. Don't tell Glenn Howard that. He's like all coaches. He's been so successful. These coaches, they always wonder how they're going to win the next game. Glenn Howard, 274 and 60. Think about that.
Yeah, it's amazing. Parker throws it up. It's up for grabs, and it's picked off.
That's a guy Tootin we were talking about, the freshman.
Well, when it rains, it pours. 3:15 remaining in Paulsboro, on top by 32, and with the football deep in Woodbury territory. Well, we talk Group 1, and I think one of the interesting things, Timber Creek moving down to Group 3. Dancing with the Gloucester County Stars.
How about that?
Every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Are you in that, Mark?
I am not in that.
Now, is that correct? My director, Stan Ritter, tells me your nickname is Twinkle Toes. Is that correct?
No, that is inaccurate as well.
Can't trust him. So, who are some of the participants in Dancing with the Stars this year? My friend Stan Ritter.
Hey, by the way, as we're promoting that, you talk about Group 1 this year. As I said,
County Clerk Jim Hogan, keep an eye on him. He is the prohibitive favorite in the Dancing with the Stars, I believe. I have the smart money's on him.
Rob, I could tell you who the favorite is in Group 1. I'm out of my element when I'm talking about Gloucester County Dancing with the Stars. I'm sorry.
But what about Timber Creek moving down to Group 3?
Well, it's interesting only because, it changes Group 4 dramatically.
Yep.
And everyone thought that Timber Creek would be in Group 4 again. And also now, you have a potential rematch with Timber Creek and Delcia. I think based on what we saw last night, a lot of people, think that's going to be the case.
Last year, Lenape and Timber Creek, Group 4 championship game, correct? Neither one of them is Group 4 this year.
Yeah, Lenape's moved up to Group 5.
I mean, can you think of that ever happening before?
I mean, you get changes all the time.
But both teams.
You know what happened, Rob? There were more changes this year among good teams. That's what happened, especially in the upper groups.
Yeah. So in Group 4, maybe Shawnee is the team to look to.
Yeah, even though they lost to Cherokee, I certainly expect the Renegades to be there.
They are the largest Group 4 school, is Shawnee.
And they play in a Group 5 conference in the American division.
Yeah, we're giving it to them. Helmet's breaking the midline, we'll give it to them.
Inside handoff. And again, Paulsboro happy to give Tootin some reps here today. Who do you like in Group 2?
Until they're beaten, I'll go with West Epworth.
I would agree.
I mean, I like we talked about before, though, Rob. I think Haddonfield is vastly improved. I never would count out Cedar Creek, and even though Camden got beaten pretty badly by Camden Catholic, I think Camden will have something to say in Group 2. A lot of teams will be beaten badly by Camden Catholic.
Very close to a first down. Group 5 always seems to be the wild card. You know, you have Toms River North that you're never quite sure about, but you mentioned Cherokee before, who's always had a very strong program.
Watch out for Rancocas Valley. Could be a very dangerous team.
4th down and inches. And it will depend on the spot. They're going to say that Woodbury held, so Woodbury with 1:04 left with the football.
By the way, I talked about Rancocas Valley. They have Iverson Clement, one of the best running backs in the state, who's already committed to the University of Florida. So Group 5 is going to be, I thought coming into the season, Millville would be the favorite. They're the defending champ, and I still think they're the team to beat. But there are a lot of teams, RV, Cherokee, based on what it did last night. And I think Vineland, which had a breakout year last season, Isaiah Pacheco, the quarterback who's committed to Rutgers, probably played defensive back there.
Come on, let's go. Get ready.
A lot of teams at Group 5.
First and 10 and sacked. New quarterback for the Herd is David Collins, and he's thrown down. You mentioned Iverson Clement for Rancocas Valley. Must be something about that last name and running backs.
That's right. Corey Clement, Iverson Clement. RV's kind of been a program that's kind of been in there, in that 6, 7, 8 win range. And I think a lot of people think the Red Devils can take that next step.
2nd down and 15. Inside of 20 seconds left. This will likely be the last play. That will likely do it.
Also a reminder.
Paulsboro victorious. Paulsboro victorious 32-0 over Woodbury here on opening day, your Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week on the GCEN. Stick around for post-game interviews and a wrap right after this. Welcome back to Woodbury High School. Rob Christ here with winning head coach Glenn Howard. Paulsboro victorious 32-0 over Woodbury in the season opener for both teams. Coach, again, first game of the year. You're never quite sure what you're going to get, but outside of maybe special teams, your team played flawlessly.
Yeah, I'm real pleased with the performance the guys did today, offensively, defensively, special teams. We did a real nice job, especially for a first game. So obviously we got a lot of things to work on to get where we want to be, but this was a good start.
Interesting, you came out, got the opening kick, went right to no-huddle offense. Walk me through the mindset of just kind of continuing to hammer Deron Holloway in that no-huddle offense.
Well, we're a no-huddle spread team, up-tempo. We like to go fast. We're going to try to push the envelope and, run as many plays that we can. So that's what we tried to do. That's the way we practice. That's the way we worked all training camp. So the kids are used to it, and that's our philosophy. And, the kids, they showed great, I thought, fortitude and conditioning. They were able to keep up that tempo. They didn't wear down. They didn't get cramps. They did a good job today. Real proud of them.
Coach, you have just established such a tremendous tradition here at Paulsboro High School, and last year you came up short by 1 point against this team, and I know just the nature of what makes Glenn Howard tick, you were probably a little bit sore that you guys didn't come away with the title last year. Is that something you discussed with the team coming into today's game?
Not really. We talked about they beat us last year. We went over the film a little bit. It was a very close game, 14-13. They played better than we did last year and deserved to win. We had a couple opportunities in the red zone. We didn't capitalize. We missed the extra point that could have tied the game. So, they were the better team last year. And we just told the guys, one loss doesn't make a season. Just like I'm going to tell them this one win doesn't make a season. We got to continue to get back to the drawing board on Tuesday and work hard and continue to improve. And, hopefully that'll be good enough in the games that lie ahead.
Well, it has to feel good beating a top team within a division, obviously establishing yourself as the team to beat. As you look forward through the year, what is it that your team needs to improve upon to get yourself another title?
Well, we just got to go to practice every day and continue to do the things that good football teams do, like work the fundamentals. We just continually preach fundamentals. This game is simple: blocking, tackling, running. If you can do those three things, protect your quarterback, play good special teams, that's a start. But we're going to work the fundamentals and keep doing those things, and hopefully we can stay healthy. We got to watch it. We don't want to go at the guys too hard because we don't want guys to, get banged up. So we try to pull them out or watch how many hits and contact that they have. So we got to be sensitive to that. But other than that, we don't have a lot of depth. So other than that, we're going to keep grinding forward.
Well, any championship team has two primary components: an outstanding coach, which we have here in Glenn Howard, and tremendous talent. Marc Narducci has some of that talent with him right now.
Well, first up with Deron Holloway, we'll also be talking to Santino Marina. Deron, you're listed at 160. You've gotten a lot bigger since last year.
I just put in hard work this year. My dad trained me hard. He pushed me hard, and I was able to gain weight and work hard this offseason.
Now, you're known, a lot of people think you're the scat back that goes outside. Talk about, you like going between the tackles.
I just love contact. Any chance I get to get a blow, I'm going to get a blow.
How good did it feel that first series where you touched the ball, I believe all but one play, you guys got the score and get the early momentum?
All week I practiced, I've been telling coach, just feed me the ball. And today he trusted me to get me the ball back-to-back plays, and I made up for him. I gained this ground and scored touchdowns for us today.
How about the fact that you almost got to you did get to take the fourth quarter off. You saved your legs a little bit. It's a long season.
It's a long season. I got two great backs behind me. Get them some time to get some experience out there and let them run the ball hard.
One last thing, Woodbury, always a great rival. Does it feel a little extra special beating them, especially after what they did opening game last year to you guys?
Man, it felt good. Like, coming from Paulsboro, you know what I mean? I hate Woodbury, you know what I mean, because they always talking. And today we just came out here and showed our hometown what we can do today.
All right, well, congratulations. Great game. I'll talk to your teammate here, Santino Marina. Let me tell you, I know they were double teaming you a little bit, but it didn't seem to work. They were chipping you a little bit with a tight end, backs. They were having no success. How did you feel out there?
I felt like they were definitely trying to target me since I was playing big, but I felt good. I felt like I did everything I could to help us win the game. So.
How about that touchdown catch? It looked like you almost had to change your body around to make the adjustment to that. That's a heck of a catch.
Yeah, it was kind of like a back shoulder throw, so I had to turn myself to catch it, and then I just came down with it. It was a great throw by my quarterback, Collins, so yeah.
What about this Paulsboro team? I mean, did you expect to come out and win this convincingly against a Woodbury team that I still think is going to be a factor in the postseason?
Yeah, I didn't really expect anything less. You know, we practiced all week. We practiced hard. You know, our team wanted big revenge, so I expected the outcome to be what it was.
How about, you guys lost quite a bit, but Paulsboro, they seem to keep reloading. How confident are you on this team, and especially a team that has a nice mix, I think, of seniors and an underclassman?
Yeah, we're definitely going to be good for the next 5-6 years. You know, some upcoming kids coming too. We're definitely big, but we just focus one game at a time, 1 week at a time, and focus on this year and championship that we got to defend.
Okay, well, congratulations on a great opening effort there, Rob. They still haven't blocked him. They're going to have some nightmares watching him on that tape.
Nah, he's a special talent, and he's going to be fun to watch, as you mentioned, on both sides of the football. And again, kind of a three-headed monster today. The two gentlemen you had and McCarthy, the quarterback, who actually attends Gloucester County Tech, but he comes over here because they don't have a football program. And, they're a force to be reckoned with. On the other side of the ball, Woodbury, I know they're going to be disappointed, but all they have to do is look back to last year and say, listen, Paulsboro lost that first game, and they ended up winning the championship.
Yeah, no question about it. And I think Woodbury has enough talent. The whole key with Woodbury is going to be depth. And if you're a Thundering Herd fan, you got to hope that Parker, with that thigh, gets better quickly.
Yeah, Andre Parker certainly has demonstrated just today what a talent he is. Yeah. I mean, essentially doing it all just with one leg. And again, we didn't really get to see the best of Woodbury today. They have a potent offensive line, and they certainly have some talent in the skill positions.
Yeah, and one other thing I'll say, we're going to see, I think, both of these teams in the postseason. I would think we're going to see at least one of them in December, if not both.
That's a great point. Well, we'll see whether or not you're prescient. It'll be fun to see. So the final score here from Woodbury, Paulsboro easily on top of the Herd, 32-0. Next week, your GCEN Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week. It's going to be Willingboro taking on West Deptford. Hopefully, we'll have you there. So I want to thank my entire crew, including my director, Stan Ritter, and my partner, Marc Narducci. I'm Rob Chris. Thanks again for joining us on the opening day of high school football here on the GCEN. Hope to see you next week. Take care, everybody.